Welcome to the Oil Stream postgame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, and YouTube Trev with you as the Oilers pummel the Nashville Predators 6-1. Little fist pump back there from YouTube Trev. Our client mixer here at EST, a success. Very, very fun night. A huge thank you to all of our partners and all of those. No, you're good to go. You're good to go. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to help out. I love it. This is great. A good night overall. The Oilers are on the board with a W, and we're going to break it all down. Join the conversation as always. Hit us up via the text line 780-218-9999 and in the nasty chat, which I think is buzzing. I'm going to take a quick peek over there. Yeah, it's buzzing. Gager.
Oh, good.
Lots going on in that game. Let's start with the scoring summary, and then we'll break it all down. And people rejoicing because guess what? The weight of the world is off of their shoulders. The Oilers have a win. This one started early for the Oil, 8-11 in. Leon Draisaitl makes it 1-0, his third of the season. Of course, he scored against Nashville from Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the power play. Then, adding to the lead was Zach Hyman, his first of the year from Evan Bouchard and Draisaitl. Oh, who else? Then Nugent-Hopkins would get in on the fun, his second of the season from Warren Foegele and Zach Hyman at 16:45. 3-0 Oil at that point. And for good measure at 17:46, Connor McDavid, second goal of the season. Draisaitl picking up an assist. Evander Kane also getting a helper on that one. 4-0 Oil after one. The Preds do get on the board. Tommy Novak, great first name there. His second of the season from Ryan O'Reilly at 2:08 would cut the lead. That came on a Preds power play. Draisaitl, he responds at 7:53 on the power play, his fourth of the year, second of the night. Bouchard and McDavid, the assists. And then for good measure, let's call it that. Warren Foegele, first of the year from Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. All right, Gager, you got Draisaitl with 2 and 2 for a 4-point night. Pretty good. Zach Hyman has a nice night himself, a goal and 3 assists, 4-point night. Nugent-Hopkins with 3 points, a goal and 2 assists. And then McDavid and Foegele, 2 points each, a goal and an assist each. Bouchard, a pair of helpers. Evander Kane with an assist and domination from the Oil. Really quickly, I will get to the shots on goal, and then we're going to throw it to you, my friend, because the Oilers had themselves a night. They do get outshot 42-30, so Jack Campbell, it wasn't an easy night for him either.
No, I think the only thing that was more successful than the Oilers tonight was the Edmonton Sports Talk mixer that we just had.
It was lovely.
That was great to meet all these people, but what a great time to have a mixer and get the monkey off the city of Edmonton's back with those first 2 games. You mentioned the point totals of some of the players that I think, Tommy, most people would kind of think that's what their point totals would be at this point after 3 games. Commanding game. I think the recipe, the way the schedule kind of lined up for them is perfect. Like the doctor ordered, take Draisaitl in Nashville and call me in the morning, and everything will work out just fine. Great to see the leadership of Draisaitl come in, establish the game early, scoring the first goal, and just putting to rest all the other things that have been talked about. Great game throughout the whole lineup. I mean, I mentioned that I wanted to see the biggest thing I wanted to see from the Oilers tonight was their 60-minute game, and I think we saw that all the way through the whole lineup. Everyone contributing. End of the game, a little bit tougher. Nashville got some chances there, but then you saw Jack Campbell making some really, really good saves.
Yes,
using his head at certain points too. At the one of the last saves of the game. The thing I noticed about that last save is his positioning, Tommy. Like, it's kind of a broken play, and he is still so engaged in that game where he's at the top of the crease and makes that save off his melon. Unbelievable game from Jack Campbell tonight. Like, made the saves that he had to, and a lot of those weren't easy either. Right. So, and just when there's certain parts in the game where the other team pushes. There's ebbs and flows, and it was snuffed out. And that's, so to say, that was the Jack Campbell that we saw through the preseason.
Volume of shots Nashville had, and quality and timing of those saves opportune. That's another huge element that you and I talked about throughout the week, and we even talked about on the post-game show as well last week. You know, you got to make the saves at the right time. Yes, he made a ton tonight, but yeah, doing them or stopping those pucks at those opportune moments for the Nashville Predators in key situations, I think goes a long way as well. So they got all of that tonight, essentially, is what I'm saying, Gager. And people can be happy about that. I can see it via the inbox, 780-218-9999. Dirty Curdy says, he's no simple Jack tonight.
No.
Tropic Thunder reference there. Nice to see the offense wake up. Hyman, of course. That Kulak-Broberg pairing was shaky. Kulak hasn't been the Kulak we're used to.
Not yet. I did like his play in the third period, recognizing, getting a stick to a place to take away goals. So maybe there's something there that to build on going forward. Look, I'm a huge fan of Kulak. He comes to play when it means the most for the Oilers. He elevates his play from a 5-6 to, I think, a 3-4 over the last 3 years. Every time he enters the playoffs, so I'm not too worried about him. Broberg, he showed some flashes and he gives us these little tastes, right?
Yes.
There was one point where he comes down the wall and goes around a guy, gets a good shot on net and back in position so quick. You can see the skating ability. It's unbelievable. But there's these little tastes. It's very difficult for a defenseman, especially fighting for ice time. He's in a battle with Desharnais for that spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
But young guy, and I have to say I thought there was some struggles, but I think overall he acquitted himself quite well tonight.
780-218-9999. I'm going to read this one. Also the nasty chat going. I'll dip into that right away. This one from Paco says, I'm just happy Gager does not have to hang up the jacket. You wore it again. You came in here hot. And
Look, everyone's got a preseason, right? Like the jacket hasn't been on in a while. My jacket was like at home that first game, right? It hadn't been used yet. Didn't wear it in preseason. And now I think, Tommy, we saw the power of the leather jacket.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know how many appearances it's gonna be on the show. Like we might have to put it away for certain games.
I understand that.
But special occasions and when the Oilers are in need, Tommy, I'm there for them.
Once an Oiler, always an Oiler. Joaquin Gage, bringing that good juju with the jacket. Good stuff. This text from Vitamin J says, what a parlay. Yes. There was a big cheer for the first Draisaitl goal, the second Draisaitl goal, and the subsequent Oiler goals from everybody. Well, a good chunk of the gathering here at the EST studios. And, Mr. Lean was happy himself.
The Lean was leaning.
Oh,
tonight.
He was lean. There he is. Look at oh, boy. He's having a night. I think he's sleeping here again tonight. No, he says no. He's got to go home. Another text from, I think, Steven says, never doubted them. Okay, good. You know what, Gager? At least, this is just a general statement, but at least on a night where you expected them to make it a good night, they came through. And enough of, forget what happened on Saturday, forget what happened last Wednesday. Just go in there, palate cleanse.
Yeah.
Right? For the group as a whole, to go in there and have a convincing victory like they did tonight in Nashville, how far does that go for the group and its collective mentality? Or is it, you win, take the 2 points, be happy about it for 5 minutes and move on?
I look, over the first two games, and it's not the start that everyone expected the Oilers to have by any means, but there was a little creeping in what's going on so far. But I like the maturity. I go back to Stuart Skinner saying, you know what, I'm playing pretty good right now. Like there's a quiet confidence, and you have to be a little bit arrogant, but I like how the body language of tonight was very encouraging for me to watch, because I think I didn't expect a 6-1 victory. I thought it would be a closer game, a little bit tighter.
It was looser tonight.
Than
what we've seen the first two, obviously.
But looking at them on the bench, it's expected. There was excitement and high fives, but it wasn't over the top, right? Okay. This is going about your business in a way, having fun doing it, but knowing that there's a lot more to give, and there's a way longer season. The sign of a mature hockey player and hockey team is not letting the lows get you too low and not letting the highs get too high. I mean, if I was in that game, Tommy, I'd be jumping up and down and giving high fives everywhere after the start. But no, it shows the maturity of the team. I really liked that body language at the end of the game.
Into the nasty chat we go. Ridley says, so all the fans back from the ledge? And Jordan follows up with, we are back. Back in all caps. That one from Penner's Pancake says, you guys see that stat? Last 12 games, goals for Preds team 28, Leon 22. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely insane. He's got 22 goals and 12 assists in the last 12 games against the Nashville Predators, that's like Gretzky level domination.
I always say, I said it on two guys. I go, Oilers got to get this guy locked up because there's an offer sheet coming from Nashville regardless once it comes, because not only do they want him on their team, they just don't want this to happen anymore when he rolls into town. He owns Nashville. He might, he's like the Aaron Rodgers going to Chicago almost, right?
Oh, I get it. As you were going through that, Sean Bell came in with a chirp. Bellsy, you better be careful. We're putting you on air if you keep that up. We're putting you on air if you keep that up. He'll pass. All right. We're having a good time as the EST client mixer is winding down. Jack Cookson and Ken, big shout out to them from Pro-Am Sports. Had a great chat with them. We talked a lot about the Heritage Classic jersey, actually, cool. And they're flying off the shelves as expected. So Oil Country's buzzing tonight. Lots of good as the Oilers win at 6-1 over the Nashville Predators. Cameron, plan the parade until the next loss, and we will run the mock draft lottery simulator. Yes, we saw Lieutenant Eric with the mock draft simulator after the 0-2 start. Savage the Plumber says Yamo scored his first goal tonight. And then another one says Bell. Nice. Yes, the whole crew. Matty Cassian was here for a bit as well. All right, into the inbox we go. Scalding Gores. Scalding Gord says people were wanting Saros in a trade after the first two games. Tonight, Saros gave up 4 goals on 11 shots, so I think he was getting ready to come to Edmonton. Wink emoji. Scalding Gord, you can just use the wink emoji in our new inbox. We get those and photos too. That's the beauty of this new inbox that we were able to lock down. Saros, let's talk about that because we've been talking about Oilers goalies letting in 4 goals on 16 shots quite often. Actually, in the first 3 showings for Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner, that was their stat line. Today, you know what? They got a good showing from Jack Campbell, but UC Saros gets yanked after a tough first period. He's going to bounce back, but those do happen.
Yeah, no, it's early. I like what the Oilers did. The only thing that really concerned me going into tonight's game, Tommy, was the play of UC Saros, where he can be a huge difference maker. And the fact that they get one early and get them often, go into that first period up by 4, that's amazing. And to chase a perennial Vezina kind of maybe not candidate, but talked about.
He's always up there.
He's always up there. That's big. That's reassuring. Like when you chase a goalie, especially a goalie that's going well, or an established goalie going into the second, and you see the other guy coming out, it gives your team a lift. Like, we chased him. We're rolling here. Let's embarrass the next guy too. And they were great. I love the way that they played the whole 60. Really. Well, we'll say 55. Okay, I will say 55 minutes, but they played at a level that made it a little bit difficult for Nashville to maintain throughout the whole game, and that was the recipe that beat the Oilers, I think, in the playoffs against the Vegas Golden Knights. They played at a level that the Oilers couldn't maintain, and that's how they have to learn to play over this 82-game schedule.
Saros touched up for 4 on 11, and the Oilers did get to Kevin Lankinen 2 goals on 19 shots. The Oil with the big 6-1 win to get their first of the 2023-2024 regular season. This text comes in from Spruce Grove Corey. Gazzola. Spruce Grove Corey created that meme. Love it. Appreciate it as always, pal. Evening, guys. I'm thinking the Oilers go with Campbell in Philly and Skinner against Winnipeg. Thoughts? Interesting. Because you got a guy that gave you a game, finally. It took 3 games. You're going into Philly. Philly's not the strongest team on paper. You got to play the games. And then that leads to what should be a pretty big and important game Saturday against Winnipeg, against a team that has given you fits.
Yeah.
And is looking to bounce back after a tough year last year.
I think the Oilers coaching staff have developed a plan of how to implement their goalies over the first, I'm going to say 10 games, Tommy.
They've talked about this plan. They're not going to share it with us and all of that.
No, they keep everything close to the vest. But we've talked about it on air and off about the Oilers' schedule, yes. Right, Tommy? How it's very if there's any time for the Oilers to make hay, it's with the schedule they have, with the breaks they have in between, getting both goalies. It's a dream schedule for both goalies of the Oilers, where they can flip-flop throughout this and not have a guy sitting unless there's issues with his play and they need wins. You could see both these guys involved till Christmas, basically.
Yeah,
right?
The first back-to-back isn't till the 21st, 22nd.
That's crazy.
Of December.
To me, I'm sure Woodcroft has talked to Dustin Schwartz and both Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell, saying this is what we're going to do over these next 8 to 10 games. Stuart Skinner, I would talk to Coolbet, put money on Skinner starting in Philadelphia, coming back with Campbell Saturday. I just think it's part of the plan. And really, if I'm Jack Campbell and I came off that game where, you won 6-1, but you were a huge part of it, you're not going up against Philadelphia, you're going against the Winnipeg Jets. It gives you time to get ready for that game. It's a huge game because the Jets are a really good team. And the fact that you can go up against UC Saros, get the win, go up against Connor Hellebuck because he's going to play in that game. You can get 2 wins against these 2 big-time goalies. That's gonna give you even more confidence throughout the whole year.
Savage the Plumber via the nasty chat. The Scorpion save by Campbell was a thing of beauty. Yard Sailor, we love hot soup. A lot of love for Jack Campbell. Jerry with great night. I'm off to bed early. Start for work tomorrow. Keep up the great work, Tommy and Gager. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you getting in on the nasty chat. You know what's incredible? I was finding out more and more today at the mixer about what you guys were saying about me, about the jail thing. I'm not surprised. You guys lived up to your nasty reputation. Well done. Some of the stuff that was being relayed to me, I'm just like, yeah, of course they said that. 218-9999. You can text us, and if you're watching, you can hit us up via the nasty chat. Carmen says, Nurse had a good game. I said it, says Carmen. Let's go over to Darnell Nurse's stat line from tonight. Darnell Nurse, no points, +1, 2 penalty minutes, 3 shots on goal, 25-30 time on ice to lead all skaters for the Oilers. So, I mean, they're going to need good nights from Darnell Nurse more often than not, and not having those blemishes like he did, jumping up on the 2-on-0 goal against the other night by Studnicka. A sign that, he's headed in the right direction, or is it too early to be like, yeah, he's going to be just fine?
It's too early, but we saw a game from Darnell Nurse playing within himself, I think.
Right.
There is a tendency for every hockey player to do a little bit more, but we've seen and I look back to last year when Ekholm came, you saw Darnell Nurse play a simpler, steady type of game, and we saw that tonight. Played within his means, and had a great game, like just solid first pass, perfect, and a physical presence. Made it difficult in areas on the Nashville Predators, and that's how Darnell Nurse has to play every night. If he keeps this up, it's the Oilers are going to be very difficult, and they need that on their back end with the younger guys. I mean, it's a lot of ice time. I'd like to see it maybe shave back a little bit.
Well, yeah.
But, I did like his game, and maybe that was the key. I'm sure Dave Manson saw the way Darnell Nurse was playing and gave him a little bit more time just to feel even better about himself going into the next few games.
Ekholm, by the way, because if you're wondering, to offset Nurse's minutes, usually it's Ekholm getting a little bit more. He was at 19-13 tonight. Normally, well, not normally. Normally he is at, 22 to 23 in that range. The other night when he made his season debut, he played at just over 15. So perhaps even for him, a step in the right direction if that groin's holding up. Or Jay Woodcroft just getting him in a few more shifts because he's back in Nashville. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see what I saw in the first game too much time. Like, he looked good, solid.
Yeah.
So it makes me happy to see him being able to be a little bit more.
Get back to normal?
Yeah.
On track to normality?
Have a little bit more mobility, right? Because for a big guy, he does cover a lot really well, just with his smarts and seeing the game. So I like giving him a little bit more. We'll see. I'm still not 100% sure that he's operating at 100% yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, under 20 minutes, I'm sure that was talked about before the game.
If you're wondering what the minute distribution was for the rest of the defense, we had Nurse 25-30. We're talking about him. Cody Ceci second at 21-28. Then you had Brett Kulak stepped up for 19-30 tonight. Ekholm 19-13. Bouchard played 17-58, picking up a couple of assists. And then Philip Broberg rounding out the defensive unit at 14-59. Let's get to a couple. Anything there?
No.
No? Okay.
No, that's good.
Let's get to a few texts via the nasty chat. Jerry also adds, Gager, was Campbell Verstappen tonight unstoppable?
Well, we'll see how Verstappen does this weekend. But, he put on the softs at the beginning, went hard the rest of the way, and coasted in for the victory.
Very nice. Pit Stop Pals right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Dustin Nielsen and Joaquin Gage. You can catch that. Great stuff from those two. The Digital Warrior says McDavid hit was a statement. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Savage the Plumber. I'm really hopeful for a huge season by Campbell. I think he can bounce back in a huge way. Tonight was step one. This one from Double A. Gager's jacket is unreal. How many offers were made today that could not be refused?
Well, there were offers, but we'll see. We'll see. This is vintage Gage 2001. So
you bring it into the modern age quite well, I have to say.
It works.
A good jacket is timeless. Barber Shop Window says, Soup plays like this all season. Oilers are a legit threat. D still sucks, though. 42 shots allowed on net. What do you make of that, the volume thing? Again, we alluded to the openness of tonight, back and forth, not as tight as Vancouver. Vancouver was perimeter. They kept the Oilers to the perimeter.
Yeah, I'd like to see them a little bit tighter. There was a lot of shots from the outside too, Tommy, that Campbell was able to handle. What I liked about Campbell's game, even with the rebound, there was definitely positionally sound, recognizing where the rebound was, and not just throwing when he made saves, he brought the whole package over. Mm-hmm. Right? You saw in the past where if there was a rebound, you'd see Jack Campbell reaching at times. He was under control the whole night, I found. So I'd like to see him control those rebounds a little bit better, but sometimes in those cases, you're so focused on just making the save, getting things back on track. I'm sure we'll see a little bit better in the next game that he plays, but it got a little bit loose. But that 6-1, it is difficult to stay in that game because you're in a weird area. I would have liked to see them shut it down a little bit more, but look, they got the win. They did it in commanding fashion, and Jack Campbell looked great. So there's a lot of boxes that you could check tonight with the Oilers game.
All right, we'll dip into the inbox. We're following the nasty chat, but the nasties are talking amongst themselves. Some good stuff in there. I'll get back into it soon. Good evening, gentlemen. Cheers. So happy to hear you again, and it's about time the Oils showed up. Have an awesome night. Pillman with that one. Pillman, great to hear from you. It's been a little while. This one says, I hate to say this, but games like this, I still get disappointed when I see that the bottom line did not contribute. No shampoo. Sam. We had the fight from Ernie, right?
Big Earn.
Big Earn. Yeah, so he had the fight tonight. He fought, of course, against Cole Smith. I like that he's providing some jam.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't think of Adam Ernie as the guy that's going to go out there and absolutely change the course of a game with one menacing shift, but I think he does it more in increments. Look, I'm starting to see.
I don't care if that, you say the lower half of the lineup doesn't score in a 6-1 victory. I want them to score in a 3-1, 2-1 win, right? When they're not really counted on and providing offense. That's when they become more valuable. So I'm not too worried about it. The big dogs took care of everything. It's just in those games where maybe you get that one shift from them and they can contribute offensively. That's where they're the most valuable in your team, is contributing in those really hard games when maybe the top lines are getting shut down.
All right, 780-218-9999. This one, no name on it, says Shirley Woodcroft goes back to Soup next game, and does he stick with overloading the top line? We talked about the goalie rotation. You hit on that. Nuclear option. What do you do next game in Philadelphia?
No. I think next game lines up to a full team effort again. You're splitting them up. I think you put Leon and Connor together, and I believe I heard Woodcroft say we need to get the win, right? We need just to feel better about ourselves. And we saw, like, Leon Draisaitl has feasted on Predator meat for years now. It's a no-brainer to put Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl together against the Nashville Predators because it's worked. Philadelphia Flyers, a little bit different team. On paper, looks like 2 points for the Edmonton Oilers, but I think you're a better shot of having your top two lines are much better than the Philadelphia Flyers at this point. And I think you can run Ramshot over them with those first two lines and get contributing factors from. That's maybe when you get some scoring from your lower half of the lineup. But I would definitely split them up in Philadelphia.
Naughty Possum says, I made some good money tonight off of Leo. Let's go Oilers. Thank you, Naughty Possum. Good to hear you made some cash.
Naughty Possum.
Yeah, like I said, everybody here was riding those cool bet parlays and all
How great
that.
is that when guys are Mr. Lean's leaning back and making.
Oh, Mr. Lean, he's having a night.
Oh, he's fired up. What a great night, Tommy. Like, yes. It was fun to hear because I feel like I'm part of the Nasties.
Yes.
And to hear people talk about the show and laugh about certain things that happen throughout the day. The video component was the major point of conversation with a lot of Damon Bunting, although he stole all my hockey cards. I had a very good conversation. I'm not sure I like him too much, but I had a good conversation with Damon Bunting, and we were just conversing about how great it is to have. Oh, did you see that? Oh, I saw. That other component. So great night tonight. That was combined with an Oilers win. Very happy.
Well, now that you said that about Damon, you will be reading his Remax elite liner when we do the player of the game. I'm kidding. I'll read the liner. This text says, it's tie here. Multiple 3-point nights from the top six. That's what the boys do best. Ty, thank you for the text. Double A sends a GIF in of Gene dropping a hot dog in the intermission. He says, I'll leave this here. Gene is a hero. Commitment to the bit. He is the best. That's why we love the Paisan. Great to have him on the Hangout last week.
He wouldn't drop one of my dogs, I tell you that.
You did thank you again for the hamburgers the other night from the Elks game. You made those with love, and that's what separates them from another standard Commonwealth concession dog or burger.
Yeah, well, it's tough because the Elks are done, so we'll have to wait till maybe a snowboarding competition.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. This text that comes in, I'm assuming from the same person that we say we don't take their calls anymore. I'm not even going to read it. This one says, happy to hear the post-game show back, Tommy. Hope the Oil can carry the effort from tonight into Philly. Soup looked calm in net tonight.
Definitely.
For that one, that's from Golf Guy Steve. Jack, Rymai's cousin, says, Nuge was unreal tonight. Best post-game show at town. Cracker Jack. Thank you, Cracker Jack. And then Dino says, wow, it's great to see the Oilers out goalie the other team.
Yeah. And a great goalie, too.
Yes.
That's huge, man.
Are we, not to go back, but like, we said that they did not get out goal. We can't completely say Saturday was out goalied, right?
It's a component of Saturday.
Yes.
For sure. But
it wasn't the whole picture.
But it was, there was
that's what
there was
we
a
were
lot of
getting
other factors. Sometimes there's those games when you're just like, oh my gosh, what do we have to do to get the puck past this guy? And you're in full domination of that game. There was back and forth in that Canucks game, right? So,
and Cass said they got 3 on him.
Yeah, they still, but there was timely saves, and the Oilers didn't get them. And tonight, looking at Campbell, there was definite times when he made some really good saves. Look, fairly routine at times too, Tommy, which is really encouraging. Like I said, it's great when you go up against a top goalie in the league and you outplay him. That's I really like the way Jack Campbell's played this year. It's very encouraging. I know people have told me I'm hard on Stuart Skinner, which is ridiculous. I love the guy. They're both great, but I just feel that Jack Campbell's in a unique situation this year to get the ball and run with it by, that American Thanksgiving point where I think Stuart Skinner is going to have to kind of get his game back to where it was last year.
I am hopeful Stuart Skinner finds his game again. I think he's more like he's had 2 spotty outings. Like the first one, he was mopping up. The second one, okay, like the team in front of him wasn't particularly great, although he only faced 16 shots. But I think
he's going to get it back. He's a phenomenal goaltender.
Yeah.
It's just the situation of last year and coming into this year and kind of being the number one, you put a lot more pressure on yourself at that point. Yeah. There's no more evidence to see than Jack Campbell's last year coming in as, think the number one type of guy and it kind of slipping away from him. Mm-hmm. Tommy, they're going to need both of them. Like this is a 2-goalie league now. I don't think you can play a guy 65 games throughout the regular season and expect a great performance on a playoff run. You just can't. You have to distribute these minutes to get someone. And I would say that you're probably not going to see, even when you get to playoffs, you're going to see some guys going in where it's kind of a head scratcher. But that's where the game's evolved to a point where I think it would be more beneficial to get a guy in there at a time when maybe a guy's getting a little bit tired.
A text that comes in via the nasty chat says Soupy has a weird playing style, but it still works. Do you understand the weird playing style?
I'd like to have a conversation with that guy, but I think his game is refined. His positioning is completely refined from last year. Like I said, I found him reaching at times for pucks, and not. It's funny because I find that he's playing more Stuart Skinner-like, where Stuart Skinner is so good positionally.
Blocking goalie.
Yeah, and being a combination of both. I think that's the sweet spot, right? Like you're making saves, but you're also making yourself big as a house in certain cases where reflexes just aren't going to do it for you. The pucks are coming too quick and making yourself big. His movement around the top of the crease, Tommy, like that's where he was making the bulk of his saves. If he was back in the paint, he was smothering those rebounds, which is great because you don't want to let those rebounds out when your positioning's not perfect for those second chance opportunities. And even with the second chance, he was. I can always tell when a goalie's on because you watch the head movement, like the eyes locating the puck, and he was spot on tonight.
Rylan agrees with you, Gager. Rylan says Campbell looked a lot more positionally sound tonight, not flopping all over the place and overcommitting. So Rylan seeing it like you did. So Clap Johnson says Jack has his swag back. Another one says, I'd like to say how much more I take your opinions and points seriously simply because nobody on the panel is wearing sweatpants. Even if Joaquin's jacket needs another can of Tremclad.
Tremclad, jeez. I'll shine it up.
The nasty chat's buzzing really well. 780-218-9999. YouTube Trev, I can see him trying to refresh, trying to get audio and video from the Oilers post game. Don't worry, buddy. It's all good. You work on that. We'll keep you going as we roll through the night. The Oilers 6-1 winners. And a busy night in the National Hockey League for Tuesday. It's been a weird schedule because there'll be a big night with it started out with a quieter night, then a big night, then a quiet night. And today we had 9 games. On a Tuesday, that's a busy Tuesday. Tomorrow, I think it's down to, I'm going to verify, but I was looking. I'm like, it's only, is it 1 or 2 tomorrow? Tomorrow's 2 games.
That's supposed to be like the national broadcast, too.
Right, exactly. And then you get 12 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 15 on Saturday. It's just up and down, up and down. It gets even worse next week, you guys. 2 on Sunday, 1 game on Monday, 16. So everyone's playing Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday, 11 on Thursday, 6 Friday, 9. Only 9 on a Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
That's frustrating because I love, everyone should play on a Saturday, and or almost everyone every time. I love the fact when, you get into after Christmas and there's the early game, and then you get the afternoon game, a full day of hockey on a Saturday. I that's the best.
And you get to 6 o'clock, and the Central games have started. The Eastern games are into the second period. Sometimes you get an early Western, and you've got 4 different options you can click through.
Especially if you listen to Mr. Lean on his parlays, and if you're hitting them by the night, it's a good night. You're still in the game.
Yeah. There you go. Mr. Lean coming through. Nice and clean. If you're wondering what happened around the National Hockey League tonight, let's get you to the out-of-town scores. Philly, 2-0 over Vancouver. Is that good for the Oilers, bad for the Oilers? Doesn't matter. Indifferent?
At this point of the season, you don't really look at, you're not scoreboard watching to see it.
Philly's not riding a high going into Thursday going, we beat Vancouver 2-0.
I don't think anyone has a real grasp on their team yet. It's, we're barely 5 games into a season. There's not even enough. I mean, obviously there's video being broken down of games. I'm sure they'll have a look at this Flyers game and see what made them successful, but it's so early, Tom, and I think, if the Oilers play their game at their level, it'll be very difficult. They would have to have a superhuman effort by Carter Hart to stay in the game.
All right. 5-2 Minnesota over Montreal at Bell Center. 3-2 Buffalo over Tampa. That one in overtime. You had L.A. smacking around the Winnipeg Jets 5-1 today. And I thought we'd see a nice tight game between the Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. Didn't happen. 1-0 Islanders over the Coyotes on the island. This one's still underway. Just in the second period, it was an 8:30 start our time. Seattle 1-0 over Colorado. 18 minutes left in the second period. 1-1 San Jose and Carolina late in the first period. And after 1 in Vegas, no score between the Stars and the Golden Knights.
I did think of something just about the goalies, and people are talking about Campbell. It's going to be Carter Hart. I'm assuming that's going to be playing for the Flyers. And Stuart Skinner, I think, has gone up against him twice and lost both. So lines up good for Skinner, not only to get going again, but go up against a guy he's played against since he was a little kid, and get that first victory against Carter Hart and a little bit more bragging rights in the summer while they train. That's something special. I think the little game within the game.
Carter Hart, the 25 save shutout tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. All right, 780-218-9999. Here's an interesting one, kind of sort of on topic, but a little bit off. Says, Gaz, I think you guys should do a pre- and post-game show in the Rexall Place main concourse for old time sake. That's from Cards. And may I suggest this? Can we call that building the Coliseum until its demise and they tear it down?
Oh, they want us to go to... Oh,
yeah, and it was Cards who wrote in, and it's not called Rexall Place. To me, it's always the Coliseum, and I know we had to call it because that was, when I worked for the team especially, you had to call it Rexall Place, but It'll always be the Coliseum. That would be cool, Cards, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty dingy in there right now.
I don't think we wouldn't get the. It would be better just with a green screen with it in the back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it's
that we could kind of figure out how to do. But
I was saying, geez, we'd have to battle with the Oilers Plus crew. But you were saying Northland.
yeah.
I don't know.
At the old calls, that would be kind of neat. I don't know. I think someone went in there. I can't remember if it was our old producer at Oilers TV, Jeff Nash. But he got a look. He does a thing called Rinks Around the League. He has his own.
Yeah, I was on his show.
You can watch it on YouTube. Does some really neat stuff. And he posted some images from inside of there, and it's
completely. Looks. It's the perfect scene for season 2 of The Last of Us at some point, right?
Yes, that's fair.
It's dystopian looking inside right now.
Yeah, all the seats are gone. All the metal. The seats that were on the sides of the lower bowl, I think they're pushed out, or they're taken out. I think the city was using it for it was a huge garage and storage space. But yeah, as much as I love that building, it's nice that they've moved on. 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years now.
It's funny because every time I drive by it, I remember driving to the rink, and I'm like, oh gosh, I remember this old time. Also, I lived in the Coliseum until Christmas one.
Did you? How was that?
It was great. It was pretty funny.
Did they give you a suite at least?
No, I don't think there's suites available. I'll have to save the stories for the Nasty Club. But let's just say there was some funny things going on in that building back when this is really dating myself. But I remember having to go to the front desk and renting a VCR to get a movie to watch a movie in the room and having to lug it back to my room and plug it in. So a VCR is a cassette, Trev.
He's like, I don't know what is this old man telling me?
I know what that is.
Oh, okay, right, good. There's good. YouTube, Trev. Are you okay over there?
Oh yeah, I'm having a grand time. I'm just waiting to upload, get the post-game interviews from the Oilers, but they're taking their sweet time tonight, so those are going to be coming out maybe shortly.
Trev was I saw a few fist pumps like low with all the people, but we haven't had an unleashed Trev yet. He was happy tonight, smiles. I'm sure his face is going to hurt after this game, but very, very well done tonight.
I've been smiling all night. Yeah, it's been a great night. What a fun time we've had tonight. It's been awesome.
It's been great.
YouTube, Trev, good to hear from you. You're going to be doing the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game, by the way. That burden is on you. It's a good thing you have a lot of options tonight, and you're going to do just fine, pal.
Yes, we got a lot of options tonight, and I can't wait for that.
All right, let's go into what
about when you see these next games, Tommy? Like, what do you see for the Oilers? Like Philly, Winnipeg, like after these next 10 games, where do you see the Oilers sitting? Like, what's do you see them go?
Expectation is that they're somewhere around the top of the Pacific Division. 6+ wins, something like that. That's expectation.
Yeah.
Is it realistic? Yeah, I think so. Now, I think that they're going to get fits on Saturday from Winnipeg. This Philly game should be a win, right? Like, I'm just looking at it bluntly. I'm not getting into the minutia of the game. I look at them and you're going into Philly. Philly's a team that's looking to rebound after a rough couple of years. They're not vulnerable, I suppose is a good way to put it, but I'm sure Vancouver thought that they were vulnerable tonight too. They get blanked by Carter Hart. So, okay, take them. Do not take them lightly and stand by the process. Use what you did tonight and implement that, and you should be fine. Saturday could go either way. It's a Saturday night. You got the Jets in town. Like I said, they give you fits, and they're going to be pissed off and ornery because of tonight, what happened to them, getting spanked by LA. We'll see what happens in between now and then for the Jets, but it's Saturday. Anything can happen, especially with Winnipeg. That's how I look at them. Mini's going to be a tough battle, but you can win that game. The Rangers is always going to be a tough battle. That's going to be a close back-and-forth game with a lot of scoring. That's going to be fun to cover, and then you got the Heritage Classic. Atone for what happened in 2003 and win the damn game.
Yeah.
I'm kidding and being facetious, of course, but it would be nice to see the Oilers win that Heritage Classic on the 20th anniversary of the original, or 20 years after the original, against the Calgary Flames. So all these games, Gage, what I'm basically saying is they're winnable, and the Oilers should win at least 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm expecting minimum 3 wins.
Yeah, I look at this Philly game, like the Oilers, there's a realization, and you've talked about it, but I think until you actually see it and realize it, you're getting everyone's best game every night, you know?
But are they not at the point, and yes, are they not at the point now where they need to expect it, and that should help them elevate their game consistently?
Yeah, they should, but I think experience, you talk about something, but until you actually realize it and see it, I go, oh my gosh, just watch these guys, and they're playing out of their skin tonight. Like that's where the Oilers have to get to. Like there's not going to be an easy night. Like this Philly game is going to be tough. Like Philly doesn't want to be embarrassed at home, by these guys. They're going to see the 6-1 score that the Oilers put up today. A big thing for the Oilers this year is all the hoopla, and everyone's talking about maybe they read their own clippings too much. Well, other teams read those clippings too, and this is Rick Tocchet was talking about it against with the Vancouver Canucks. Like they're a measuring stick. The Oilers are a measuring stick for teams that are maybe on the outside looking in of possibly making the playoffs. Where are we at? And that has to be their mindset, where they're not totally worried about the other team, but developing a game that makes it very difficult for teams to compete against for a full 60 minutes.
Renato says, gentlemen, looking fantastic. Good win for the Oilers. Still munching data from the West Coast. Nom, 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 nom. Yes, Mr. Lean, thank you for the picks today. Money. D. White says, do you know why most of the games start on the hour? A 30-minute stagger would be better. I don't know. I think it's just a league policy. Although some teams, especially the West Coast ones, like San Jose likes the 7:30 Pacific starts. Yeah. I think teams get some say in that, but I don't know why they don't stagger them more. I think part of it, it's like the NFL. You get the 11, the 2:30 or the 2:25, and then you get the late game on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's somewhere along those lines, but I don't think they're as stringent in the NHL. Norm Camp, anyone worried about the number of saves Soups had to make? What do you think, Gager?
No. I think I said this today on Two Guys. When you play a game with over 35, 40 to 45 shots, it's very easy to stay in that game, and it's so early in the season. I actually like that. You're focused. You're in it. It benefits a goalie at this point. Those games that are 15, 16 shots that we see, way tougher to stay within that game because you're cold, you're not getting a shot for 5 minutes, and then something really important comes, and you got to be ready for that. So it was always easier for me to be in those games where I was getting plus 35 shots because I was busy.
This one came in, said, interviews. This is from Jenna. Jenna says, interviews aren't up yet because Draisaitl has to tuck Nashville into bed. It's gonna be a late night. Oh, YouTube Trav gave it the ba-dum. Well played. Well played, Jenna. Well played indeed. Are you worried about Connor Brown, says Satoshi Oilers?
Not after a guy that had a year off. There was flashes in the preseason, what we saw, but preseason to the regular season is a completely different story. I think we're going to see Connor Brown get back to his game. It's going to take some time. I would say in between game 10 and 15 where you really see. We saw flashes of it. Like sometimes, I think I was talking to you and Cass, we couldn't just know the difference if it was Hyman or Brown, right? There's that same tenacious style, which I think is going to be so beneficial going down the lines. I'm not too worried about it. ACL's a tough injury to come back from. You're still thinking, oh, am I okay? Every time, I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's thinking if he hits someone, is this going to withstand it? Because if you actually watch the injury, Tommy, it looked like, but it kind of looked like a nothing burger too. It was like,
then
how
you
does
see it slow and
the knee bends, and so it's very give him some time because I think he's another piece of the puzzle of the success for the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, I want to get to a couple here. Kevin says, what a night in Nashville, boys. Had a blast. Kevin, I hope your night is just beginning. I mean, there's so much to do. A great spot. If you're in Nashville and you're munching data right now, Kevin, if you get a chance, get out to St. Anejo in the Gulch. It's about 5 minutes from downtown and Broadway. You will not regret it. It is a great spot. And let's just say the last time I was there, it was like a Tuesday night. And there was no Oiler game that night, and the scene was unbelievable. The food was great. The tequilas were immaculate. And I asked the waiter that night, I'm like, hey, man, is Tuesday night always like this? And it was just like beautiful people, having a good time. And he goes, oh, yeah. My work's full of hot, shitty people. And then he sashayed away, and I was like, I love this place. It was unbelievable. So we can drop that. It's after hours here.
What a city.
So if you're listening and you're looking for a spot to go to St. Anejo in the Gulch in Nashville. You will not regret it. And then Kevin follows up with, all I do is deliver momentous victories in Nashville. So he's taking credit for that. On a more serious note from Penner's Pancakes, does Vincent Desharnais slot in Thursday? I can see Ernie staying in another game as well. What say you, Gager?
No, you don't mess with a winning lineup, especially after the one. You want to get back to 500. I don't think you mess with it. Build some continuity with the defensive pairings. I like the 12-6, Tommy. You talk to any defenseman, they don't like the 12-7. It just gets the rhythm of the game gets all out of whack. Mm-hmm. And I think for Broberg at this stage, we need to see more. He needs more experience. There were some hiccups, I guess you could say, tonight, but there were some flashes of what could be. So I'd like to see him against the Flyers, where possibly get even a little bit more of that 14 minutes of ice time and show what he can do.
We're seeing leash being given to Philip Broberg.
Yeah. And do you think – I think there is a component that it's very difficult for – I mean, he's playing his wrong side, Tommy. It's so hard getting the puck on the wall on that side on your backhand, bring it to the forehand. Very difficult. This could be auditioning too, you know,
okay.
If things don't work out the way they want. I see what Broberg is capable of. I've seen the highlights from the American Hockey League. There is a lot there with that player. He can be a big part of this team moving forward, but with the current personnel and what they have, it's tough to fit him in where on his normal side, and he's acquainted himself a little bit better. We've heard how D-men on their off wing, it's maybe a little bit easier to defend at times when facing the rush. So, and being such a good skater, it might help him to an extent. But let's see Philip Broberg, what you have. Unfortunately, with the age of a older defenseman like Desharnais, you kind of know already. Mm-hmm. You know, his ceiling isn't as high as Philip Broberg's is at this point.
I think everyone comprehends that.
Yeah, I do think there's more from Desharnais too. I think it's amazing what happens when you start playing with regular NHLers all the time and how much that elevates your game. So I think there's more to his game as well. But like I said, I think we could see Philip Broberg surpassing Desharnais at a point, and even who knows where that ceiling ends.
All right, we have a few minutes left. Man, we've been going for a while. That means we need to get to the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting is a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton, and among RE/MAX realtors, he and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate, or just hang out with him and open packs of hockey cards like he
stole
your card.
Yeah, he stole some cards.
Unbelievable. Without further ado, let's go to YouTube Trev for the Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game.
Right on. Okay, what is up, guys? There's a lot of players you could pick from tonight. I'm very happy, I'm not going to lie, to see that Warren Foegele, he did get a little bit of love in the nasty chat tonight. I honestly thought this was one of the better games he's ever played. This is just an honorable mention, but I had to give some love for Warren Foegele. 1 goal, 1 assist. Obviously, Leon Draisaitl, that's an easy pick. That's another honorable mention. But I do just want to say this. With his 2 power play goals tonight, he surpassed, he is now the franchise leader in power play goals for Edmonton in Edmonton history. So he passed Glenn Anderson, Ryan Smith, and he's now 127 power play goals. So super impressive. Yeah, and counting, which is the crazy thing, right? Like, this is already. So, but the player of the game, that, I mean, it has to be Jack Campbell. It has to be Soup. He was, this is, yeah, I, in my opinion, you know, I think it was great. It was a great outing for him. He looked great throughout the whole game. He was sound positionally. Only let him 1 goal. Yeah, I mean, Jack Campbell is the player of the game, and it's gonna be good to see what he can do, what he can build from this. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to it. So, to be Jack Campbell.
There you go.
I like it. I'm rubbing off on him. Liking the goalies.
He's going to be showing up with a leather jacket here next week. That's your Damon Bunting, Remax Elite Player of the Game. Jack Campbell, 41 saves in the win. The Oilers get off the schneid with a 6-1 victory. So you guys will just be matching. You'll come in with a smile on your face. You'll be wearing skinny jeans now.
Yeah. I need a leather jacket.
I guess I need a pair of Jordans. Jeez.
Oh, I got a few of those. For you.
Those are great.
These are
white.
custom. Yeah, these are custom.
These are custom.
Yeah,
that's
bad.
orange laces, orange stripe.
They're Oilers Jordans. Is that?
Nikes. Yeah. Not bad, eh?
Nice.
All out. YouTube Trep does not half-ass it as all. This text says, Gager, does Uncle Jesse know you took his jacket?
Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard?
Full House.
Oh, Full House.
That's from Ty.
I'm really dating myself here. Uncle Jesse never wore a leather
Jesse Katsopoulos. He was with the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. More of a collar. This is more of a motorcycle jacket.
I like that collar more. Yeah, that one's better. This one from West End Rob Gents. Thoughts on the fourth line, Ernie and Janmark not contributing much. How much longer does Kane get on the top line? I've seen some texts in regard to Vander Kane and getting him going. What's your gauge on all of that, Joaquin?
Look, the pieces of the top 6 are going to be changing constantly throughout the year. It's just the way it is. Sometimes there's a certain trio that's going to catch fire, and you're going to see them together. But this is an ongoing project to see what you have, what establishes, because there's new pieces in there. Connor Brown, Dylan Holloway, what does that look like? We're just going to see different matchups, and I do think that it's beneficial to kind of do that. And we've seen Coach Woodcroft implement his players to counteract teams. There's benefits to it, keeps other teams on their toes, but there's also at times players like to build things with their teammates, who they're playing with, develop that chemistry. I think there's something to that as well. We saw Cassidy with the Golden Knights keep his guys together and didn't care. Like,
right.
You think you're going to beat our guys? Try it. Like, these are who's coming out against you, and I think they're better than you guys. So there's a little bit of that machismo too going on, and that responsibility that every player wants to going up against the other team's top lines, or getting that match up against whoever you're matching up against the other team, that creates that team atmosphere of that strength. I'd like to see it a little bit more, Tommy, but I think the way Woodcroft does things is to keep everyone on their toes and not and try to find the best fit possible.
Yeah, he's actively pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Is how I like to.
And that's okay now. That's okay now.
But in a good way, I think it's to success, obviously, thus far in his career.
Yeah, I'd like to see him. I mean, what made him successful, I think, at the beginning, is the way that he allowed everyone to be part of the game. right?
Yeah.
I think he has to look.
Save for the fourth line late in the game.
Yeah, so I think there's something to that a little bit, but find what works best this year, and I think that's what he's doing.
Jay Woodcroft improves to 77, 34, and 12 in the regular season as a head coach. We're going to wind things down here. I'm getting photos from Broadway in Nashville from people who are down there. Our friend Larry, just a street. Look at this. That's right down the strip from the arena. And it's just a steady stream of Oilers jerseys, all kinds of different Oilers jerseys. You got the Navy alternate, you got the WHA throwback, you got those crappy orange ones they wore for the last few years, you got the beautiful royal blue ones. Oil fans travel well, and they're certainly enjoying the night down in Nashville. Larry, thanks for sending in the pictures. He says, so many Oiler fans. Yeah, they do travel among the best in the National Hockey League. It's actually pretty elite how well the Oilers fans and faithful travel around the league. Quick thing before we say goodnight. Let's take a look ahead to Philadelphia on Thursday. What are you expecting? More of the same? What's Philly going to throw at the Oilers coming off this win over Vancouver tonight?
Gosh, I think it's going to be a real close game, Tommy. It's just the Philly's going to be ready. Carter Hart coming off a great game, them knowing what the Oilers did, and the Oilers want to keep things rolling. Mm-hmm. So I look to the next game being low scoring, very physical. Tortorella team, very physical against the skill. It's a game the Oilers need to get 2 points out of the Eastern Conference, though.
It's doable. The next 5 to wrap up the month, I say 3 wins. The one on Saturday I look at and go, that's the big one. And then Minnie's going to be a tough one. New York could go either way, and then go and win the damn Heritage Classic.
Yeah, go have some fun with that one.
Waiting 20 years for them to win a home Heritage Classic. I think that's going to be a really fun Sunday, by the way. You're going to be down there at Commonwealth. Everybody from EST, I think for the most part, we're going to try to get down there and be around there a little bit. Let's wrap up with a few chats from the Nasties down in the Nasty chat. We're going to forego post-game audio tonight. They won. They're happy. Weight off their shoulders. Now they look ahead to Thursday. That's basically what they would say. And the boys on the morning show, Dusty and Eric, will have all you need to hear. Sound bites, all that good stuff if they need to. All right, this one's from Kevin. Says, again, I'm reading the chats amongst the Nasties. This one says, I caught you laughing, Gazzola. Yes, I've been laughing a lot. You guys have been pretty funny tonight. Spency 5 Centsy, nice alias, says, did McDavid do that twirl before the goal on purpose? It looked sweet with a sunglasses emoji. What do you make of that, Gager?
That made me think of the ear doctor talking about core and your equilibrium, where Connor McDavid just has such a high IQ of balance and just recognizing and being able to, I'm falling, I'm spinning, I'll just get up and go score a goal. He's the kid's on a next level, Tommy. It was absolutely, it's one of the, that's the goal of the year so far that I've seen for him to recognize, get knocked down, do the spin, grab it, have a guy on him, rip it, low blocker. And we've become so accustomed to these stupid things that no one else on the planet could do that without anyone around them. Just try to do it with no one. No one could do that. And he's got guys all over him. Unreal goal.
All right, a couple more. Norm, I want to get to this one. Nursey wasn't really noticeable at all. Maybe he read the memo, and we talked about him having
That's how he has to play, man.
He's got to play that way. And I did see one from Surveyor Brett. This is the last text of the show. You guys, this goes back to earlier in the day. Surveyor Brett, we saved the best for last for you, pal. How is the human sushi table at the mixer tonight? Joaquin?
I haven't been downstairs yet, so I guess it's down there. We'll see after. I'll send some pictures, Brett.
Oh, boy. A great night overall. A big thank you to all of our partners and for everyone who came out to the EST mixer tonight. Absolutely great night. And then the team delivering with a big 6-1 performance, getting their first win of the season. To everyone who watched us on the EST YouTube channel, who hopped in the Nasty chat, huge thank you. Hit that thumbs up. I see a lot of you have. We always appreciate it. And to those who are listening on the audio channel, major thank you. Without you guys, we can't do this. So without further ado, enjoy the rest of the night. For YouTube Trev, Joaquin Gage, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night, nasties. We'll talk to you tomorrow.